What's going on, you blue-collar hustlers? I have been in and around the trades for 2+ decades. During that time, I have always had 2 to 3 jobs. But anybody who has got obligations, responsibilities, families, things like that, you're going to do whatever you got to do to pay those bills. Someday we might go into a little more detail as to what and all I did, why I got into the trades, that sort of stuff. But up until about 1.5 years ago, I literally worked between 75 to 90 hours every week, 7 days a week for 20+ years. I did whatever I had to do to survive, to make money, to pay bills, to do the things that I wanted to do, to take care of the people that I needed to take care of. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there who can relate, but whenever you do that sort of stuff, you're pushing your body to the limit. You're going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can only sustain that type of lifestyle for a very short period of time before it starts to bite you in the ass. That's whenever you start to get wore down and health problems start to develop. It is physically, mentally, and emotionally draining to an individual. And at some point in time, you might get burned out, which is what I did. I got all this stuff going on. I have medical issues that pop up, a ton of things going on in my personal life, and I just got burned out and I needed to take a break. That's why about 1.5 years ago, I decided to step out of the wrenching world and step into a different trade. Basically, handyman work and general contractor. This is something that I'm already familiar with. Whenever I was growing up, the guy next door to us, he worked at the coal mine and he had his own business on the side doing general contracting, plumbing, electrical, remodeling, things like that. And since he worked at the coal mine, he mingled with all the bigwigs, so he had clients coming at him left and right. And since I was his next door neighbor, he was the kind of guy that was like, yeah, you kids can come over and go swimming anytime you want to. My pool's always open. He seen me out making what money I could make during the summers trying to mow grass, things like that. So the moment I hit 16 years old, my parents let me, I was able to go to work for the man. Up at 5 a.m. at his house, ready to go at 6, and I would be out all night long to about 11 o'clock at night. I'd get home, end of the week, I'd probably have $2,000 in cash. So doing this sort of work is definitely familiar to me. And that brings us to today's video. As I talk to you throughout this video, I'm going to put a ton of pictures there on screen. You'll basically get to see a bunch of the jobs that I've taken on in the last few months. You see, I'm still doing a little bit of wrenching here and there, but I'm not doing it nearly as much as what I once was. I enjoy being able to go into these places and take something that is old, worn out, and outdated and transform it into something new and improved. Something that people can appreciate and live in. It's a different type of work and a different type of feel altogether. Plus, you can make just as much, if not more money doing this sort of work as you do in the automotive world. And I'm able to use different tools in different ways that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see. You'll see some of the different repairs, some of the remodeling jobs, some of the things that I've done on this channel in a variety of different videos. But I like being able to show that I am using these tools and I'm testing them in the trades, doing a variety of real world repairs. That way, whenever I do make an after action performance review, I can tell you how they perform based off of a ton of experience. Let's walk through some of these remodeling jobs. In most cases, whenever we start these jobs, they're going to be total remodels from the top to the bottom. And that typically means to strip everything down. Tub, toilet, sink, dishwasher, refrigerator, countertops, cabinetry, light fixtures, HVAC, the whole 9 yards. I got a system that I like to do anytime I'm going into one of these jobs. And in most cases, we are going to be redoing the entire floor too. So we're going to be pulling up the carpet, the old flooring, whatever the case may be, put in some brand new. And I love it whenever you do those types of jobs because you ain't got to worry about putting down no drop cloth. I typically try to go in and start stripping everything down. I'm talking about pulling the light fixtures out, pulling everything off the walls, the wash boxes, the closet doors, the doors, ripping down the countertops, the cabinetry, whatever's got to go is going to go. Strip it all down to the bare bones. And the very first thing I'll do is any drywall and plumbing work that needs to be done. For an example, you go to replace the wash boxes, they're old and outdated. You're going to want to go ahead and cut out the wall, cut out the old wash box, plumb in a brand new one. Same thing can be said for the HVAC system, the light fixtures, whatever you're dealing with. It's best to get the drywall work out of the way from the start. That way, while the mud is drying, you're off doing some other repairs. You can come back, sand it down, apply your second or third coat of mud, whatever the case may be. Because whenever it's finished up and ready to go, all that you lack is painting. Anytime I remove the light fixtures, we've been taking down the old ones, putting in some brand new LEDs. I like to remove them and go ahead and paint around where the new fixtures is going to go. That way you ain't got to worry about cutting out around them. Plus, I like to have premium quality light whenever I'm working. And leaving the old bulbs hanging up there until you get to them later on is just something I don't like doing. Now, like I said, I like doing the drywall and the plumbing fixtures first because there is going to be situations you get into where you need to put in a brand new tub and tub surround. So usually I like starting with the bathroom because if you can start with the bathroom, you can get everything in that you need in, whether it's the new exhaust fan, the new tub, the new toilet, the new sink, you got running water. If you need to go to the bathroom while you're there, right there you are. You want to make sure everything is nice, clean, and new. Got any plumbing problems in behind the wall, you can cut them out. You can fix all the plumbing problems. Take out all the old cast iron, put in some new PVC. Once all the light fixtures, things like that are done with the ceiling, I like to go ahead and paint the entire ceiling. Like I said, you ain't got to worry about drop cloths because you're going to be changing the floor. That's going to save you a lot of time because you can get paint splatter wherever you want to. It's not really going to matter. Once you get all the ceilings and stuff painted, of course, the next natural thing you're going to go to is going to be the wall. I like taking a platform, stepping up on it, trimming out around the ceiling. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint all the walls in the entire place. Save my receptacles and things like that for last because if I paint over top of them, chances are I might end up replacing them anyway because they're old and outdated. Now, after you get all the paint done, it's time to rip up the carpet and the old floor. Then go ahead and lay down all the new floor. Install your cabinets, your countertops, dishwashers, range hoods, toilets, faucets, sinks, drain pipes, plumbing, fixtures, other appliances, hot water tanks, bifold doors, knobs, add your shelving, receptacle covers, install your baseboards, and then go around the entire unit to make sure you do any touch-ups that you might have missed. Depending on the size of the unit, if you was to remodel it from top to bottom, whether it's a 1-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, the price will vary. Parts, supplies, the whole 9 yards will probably be estimated right around the $15,000 to $20,000 range, depending. Labor cost alone, I'd say is right around $5,000. And most of these you could probably get done within 20 days, depending on how hard your work ethic is, whether or not you got somebody working for you, stuff like that. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you can get jobs like this, whether you have a handyman business, a general contractor's license, you get in on a crew and start working for them, you run a maintenance department. There's also companies out here calling themselves property preservationists. You can go through property management companies, go through the banks, go through some of these real estate companies. You can find yourself a lot of work if you really want it. Now, fortunately for me, I've met a lot of tradesmen over the years. That means I got a lot of connections, a lot of contacts, a lot of people who know my work ethic, and they know the type of work that I do, the hard worker that I am. I said in the beginning, the reason I decided to take a step back out of the wrenching trade to begin with is because I had a lot of things going on. Got a little bit burned out and I needed a change of scenery. There's one company I was actually doing some work for decided to reach out to me and offer me a full-time job. Luckily, this job's only going to entail about 35 hours a week. Cannot get into the specifics of this job offer, but I can say they offered me a company truck, a place to stay, medical, dental, vision benefits, and if I stay with them for a 20-year period of time, I can actually retire from this place. Now, like I said, whenever you get older, you hit 40, you start thinking about things like this sort of stuff starts to matter a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to go back into wrenching because I'm damn sure going to do that in the next few years. I'm still doing a ton of work on the side aside from this 35-hour week. But right now, it is in my best interest and my family's best interest if I take a step back and take on this job. The amount of benefits that I can get for myself and my family alone adds up to a lot of cash at the end of the year. And this is a trade where you're not going to have those expectations to go out here and buy the best of the best to be considered a tradesman. I'm taking a lot of my tool truck brand tools and I've decided to sell them out. I'm using that money to invest in somebody else, a different career. You could pay for somebody to go to college, get a career as a nurse or something like that. It's going to be well worth the investment. And who knows, here in a few years down the line, I might decide to jump into the plumbing trade, the HVAC trade, get certified in a few of those things. Taking on this new job is going to allow me to spend more time with my family. It's going to allow me to get some medical things took care of that I've needed done for a very long time. And I can go out here and take on whatever job I want to take on the side, whether it is wrenching on machines, equipment, automotives, you name it. I can do whatever it is that I want to do. I've already had loads of experience over the years doing this sort of work, and it's sure something I don't mind doing now. Quite honestly, I'd like to take a bunch of this money that I've been earning and reinvest it into future property that's going to be my own. You see, a lot of people spend a ton of money on these tool truck brands, and I know why they do it because it is the best. But all they can hope for at some point in time in the future is to be able to give somebody the tools that they have collected over the years in order to sell them to make money for the children, and I would rather leave them something behind that's going to continue making them money over an extended period of time. And that's where investing in property is going to be the smart money. Now, if you want to, you're more than welcome to leave your opinion, post it down below. Tell me what you think about this decision. You want to follow along on all the different things that I've been up to, all you got to do is pop the clutch on that subscribe button or check out some of these social media platforms. Otherwise, I'm going to encourage everybody to do what I'm doing, and that's get out here, do that blue collar hustle, and make yourself some money.